Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classic Class Non Classics. This is episode number 2214 and Doubleshot number 2108. We have now both these series. Now, aside from the fact these two are characters made in the 90s, they're all by the same writer. Yes, same writer, just by sheer coincidence. First, we're going back 11 years to 2012 with Bloodshot Volume 3. Well, that's what the run was called. This is actually Volume 1, Setting the World on Fire. This book collects the first 4 issues of this. I think it was like 30 issues, I believe this run was. Yes. And here's the strange thing, of all the volumes for Bloodshot, this is by far the longest run. I thought it was 30 issues. No, it was actually... let me think here. Okay. This one was actually 25 issues. And you're thinking, really? 25 issues? Yeah, 25. Which makes it under Valiant. I believe this is the third highest number of comics under the current Valiant initiative. I'd say the second highest is probably Ninja at 27. Now, this, of course, is the start of the rebooted Bloodshot that Dwayne Ziski worked on in 2012, which he did this 2 years after he did Cable. And I believe he worked on this the same time. I think he had just ended this run in Birds of Prey to work on this book. Because that volume started in 2011. I think he left the following year to work on this book. Now, I think that basically having this book as one of those launch books when Valiant started. I think, still to date, the longest one is, of course, XL by Ram City. This is the Dwayne Ziski issues. Now, mostly put for these issues, it's the way you read this, it's similar to what I saw from the trailers for the Bloodshot movie, where you have Bloodshot getting killed multiple times and get reborn, basically get resurrected and kill multiple people. Now, we hear that, wait, is that one of the plots of the Bloodshot live-action movie? Yes. Seriously. I think they basically adapted from this book for that movie. And I heard the movie is not that good, despite having Vin Diesel. And also, biggest weakness I saw from the movie is that you did not have, for some reason, your character is called Bloodshot, and you couldn't have Vin Diesel shirtless and have his part of his chest painted red. Excuse me. Now, Bloodshot, kind of in a way, takes elements from Captain America and the Punisher. Captain America being like a soldier who's basically working for the U.S. government, and we can also throw elements in here, not next to the Punisher, but a Wolverine basically being sent to kill people. So, yeah, basically it's an anagram of those two, and mostly put, basically he breaks away from the programming, works with an EMT and Wonder Woman to basically find out what the heck is going on. And he just referred himself simply as Bloodshot because the two names he basically went under, apparently Ray Grayson, which is the name he usually goes by later on. Believe it or not, that was actually his name of the acclaimed version of the character. And there was no one named Angelo that he assumed an alias. And here's the thing about that one. That was actually the real name of the original Bloodshot from the 90s. Yep, same name. What's good on Dwayne Ziski have a nod to the previous two continuities with that. But this is definitely a good start for this run. And with next Comic Corner, I'm doing Volume 2. And this is quite interesting. Now you might be thinking, why did I grab this for Free Comic Day? Because I have read this before, and it's a pretty interesting run, though it might ask my favorite writer who wrote this book, wrote this character, aside from the original writer, is Jeff Lemire. This, I think, is probably my third favorite. Because it's just a good story. I like it. I give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Oh, by the way, the artwork in here is done by 2 artists who does all 4 issues here. You have Miguel Garcia with Andrea Lazzotti, who does the artwork for pretty much all 4 issues in here. Which, the interior artwork in here is really good. They do explain the backstory of basically the nanites, how they got his body. Just really good. I thoroughly enjoy reading this. And this is also standard for Valiant. Now, here's the thing. If you have a brand new trade for a trade series, the first volume is always, and I've noticed this, because, has anybody noticed this at all? Whenever you have a volume for any Valiant trade series, it's always $9.99. It goes up with volume 2 being $4.99 for us to run. I think the reason why they do that is because, I don't think because they don't have faith the trades will sell. That's not the thing. Because they want the trades to be affordable for people. Because Marvel and DC tend to charge a lot of money for their trades. Like for a trade this size here, they might charge you $17.99 or even $19.99. The cheapest in my sales would be $15, but never $14. Alright, next up we have is Cable Volume 3 Stranded. Now you're thinking, 3, what about Volume 2? I actually couldn't find Volume 2 when I basically got this free comic day. And you're thinking, really? You couldn't find Volume 2? Yes, this is 100% completely true. Now, Volume 2 is known as Waiting for the End of the World. That's a trade I will probably do in the future. I have read the thing that came just before this one, which was X-Force has came Messiah War. Now, I do have the trade that comes right after this one. I do have them review that in the next comic book, but it's not the end of the run. Nope. This book just contains issues 16 and 20 of Cable Volume 3. And of course, as you can see here, Hope is a little bit older than she was than from the first trade. Dwayne Jusky does the writing here. But here's the thing. The artwork is done by Paul Gulacy, who has got a reputation for his faces not looking very good. I'd say his background's looking fine. I've heard also, basically, he has a problem with women's anatomy. But yeah, here's Hope Summers. Yeah, that's Hope. The face doesn't, Cable looks fine. I'd say he looks kind of fine, but the one thing I noticed, though, about his up close is his close-up. It reminds me a lot of his character from Sci-Spy. Like, is it a red Sci-Spy? Is it just me, or is Cable drawn like the main character, Sci-Spy? Yeah, I think that's kind of weird. Mostly you have a little bit older Hope Summers dealing with the aftermath of the Messiah War story. And of course, Bishop still chasing after Hope and Cable. Also, Bishop has got himself a coat now. Yes, a coat. Ooh, a leather coat. And he also lost an eye, too. So, oh, by the way, we also run into, get this. Guess who shows up in this issue? And I think it's still issue 16, right? Issue 17. We have appearance here by Strife. Yes, Strife. Cable's clone. Why is he here? It's Cable. What do you expect? Now, the artwork here, despite the fact the backgrounds look really good, reminds me a lot of the Terminator. Yes. It's like Paul Gulacy is trying too hard to rip out the Terminator with his artwork. And look, here's a slight older Hope. And the face, it just looks weird. The eyes. I've heard also I heard Lynn Carr complain with the eyes. I agree, the eyes look weird. Also, Cable's virus gone out of control. So, we have basically Cable and Hope getting into arguments here. And the way these issues read, it's almost like, it's like basically Dwayne Straczynski with these issues is ripping out the Terminator with the time travel stuff. And, oh, by the way, we also have it where Cable fights the Brood. Yes, the frickin' Brood. Yes, the creatures that are based on the xenomorphs from Alien. Like, that's cool. You have Hope fighting. Of course, you have Bishop being caught up in the stuff here, which is so hilarious. Yeah. So, then, of course, the book just ends with, well, after basically, like, traveling in space for a while, they go back to Earth. as being all in the space. Yep. But I like the story here. It's just that the artwork I'm not a fan of. And sadly, the artist, basically, with the artist concluding this run for some unknown reason. And also, one big plot thread here is that the techno-organic virus will have a bit of control in here, though it becomes a lot better by the end of the run. Yep. I'm going to give this book I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly it, particular view. Next is going to be Case Closed. And then we do one more Comic Corner. That's probably going to be it for tonight. Okay, next video. Bye.